It's 2:55 right this very second, 2:55 p.m. Central Standard Time. And 55 is a breaks down to a binary code. 55 equals 1001 because 5 plus 5 is 10. And then on the opposite side, it's 01. 82 is 10. 28 is 01. We've been having to deal with 01 and 01 since Y2K. And I came on here. This is going to be a little bit different video than well, kind of, probably a mix. To me, it's going to feel different because I have a few, there's 4 of us women that are and have been working together across the United States doing these final clearings that had to do with the Indian reserves, mainly all the connections below ground that were built above ground that should not have had control mechanisms put on them. And I'm getting messages out to them, just what I experienced today. Hi, Mary, because it's a lot easier. We're on Telegram and we're working together in a group, small group, and it is in our plans to open that up when this is finished. But for the past, ever since Al fell in my world, I've been getting guided into, and this is why I snuck in Texas. I snuck in Texas the day before the eclipse. I can promise you that they tried to take me out in Clinton, Mississippi. I mean that was the closest wreck that I've ever been in. And the only reason that, well, 2 of them, the other one was getting my son out of Detroit, because me and my son together broke this and laid what we needed to lay for now with him in my energy in 2018. Now, I titled this video Mastering Timeline Shifts because I just walked back in the house, and when you and so I was thinking about, okay, how am I going to communicate, this little craziness that was in my world today? And then as I'm thinking about it, I start realizing, okay, how it all happened, how I was led here, how 2 different routes on 2 different GPSs on 2 different phones, how I knew which road to go on, how I found the messages in the how we're getting messages through your technology, and how your reality is being moves you around, right? Because if you're sitting still, because right now really none of these moves that I've been doing have been me. It's been about having to get Al and Martha at different places with me in my car, not in the Tahoe. Because what's happening is and the main reason I'm on here right now is to help everybody understand how this works in my world and how I see it, to help you catch these grid connections and these connections as you're now moving more into it, because it's going to happen naturally because we changed the DNA. We changed the DNA. There's reports, right now that in Antarctica there's a volcano that blows, and I forgot how much gold every day, but it's a lot. But it's monoatomic gold. Well, yeah. whatever, atomic gold, and it changes your DNA structure. It does. This whole thing is and this is how we're so connected, because we're all rebirthed together. It all works in a giant chicken and egg thing. It all works together. We're all rebirthing at the same time. The energies cannot be filtered. Everything has to be alchemized, and the human form has to be able to take whatever energy is out here. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter where the human race is in space. The human body will acclimate to it, and however the space changes, and whatever's in the space will go through a rebirthing process in order to get that space into the human, and the human to be able to then manifest in that energy. But you can't keep it completely separate. It's not how it works. The only reason you were separate from the energy of wherever we were in space is because it was being separated on purpose, so that the human race wasn't manifesting in the physical, pulling us deeper and deeper into energetics that were non-human. But when this process completes, and this is why the last 7 years was the first round of tribulation, all of us that were down here went through a cosmic birthing process that told all of us how we were connected into that rebirth flowering system that has now finished the process. The white buffalo calf was born on the 24th. An all-white buffalo calf. You would basically call me the white calf woman that had to go meet the white wolf woman that then finished the DNA and did everything that we did, because that's who you're talking to over here. Like, I know this whole process because I had the DNA lines to be able to pick it up. Now, as those of us the past 7 years have been in this rebirthing cycle, and wherever we were in it, doing if you were in the branch, if you were the branch and the tree, because we all went through a process. We all started out a branch, then we all went through an artery. We did. As a group, some of us saw it, some of us didn't. Some of us, it was spiraling out in our lives and other things that were happening. Well, that's because we were all going through an artery together. We got up to the top of that tree, and that's whenever we were like, oh shit, they wrote all their black magic on our root system. So then as the whole thing's growing, this is how the shadow got so crazy, and because we just weren't ever making it all the way out of that rooting system from the branches. My heart is going nuts right now. It's 3:04. It's still doing it. And it hardly ever does it. But I just ran grids, and it just stormed here. So we're full on light beings. We's never dead rooting system. That's the problem. He's way more than just the root system. I know from the ground you only see a tree. You see one tree. It looks like that one tree comes from one cylinder, and that one tree is all by itself, and he's right? You see one tree. So then you want in your 3D mind to think that underneath that tree is just a mirror image of that tree underground, like the shadow of it, but who what root system is that tree connected to underground? And how far down do those roots go? And what's growing off those roots? And what roots have intertwined now underground? Above ground, you see one tree. As the light was shooting through that, and we was coming up through that root system, and then when we got into the tree as a collective, and we and our light was like this, coming through, what was happening, the shadow, the people that are on the top, that our energies all working together, that could walk that in the purest form, to be able to see every angle. And all of us that did that were all sending messages to all of you. And it was getting alchemized in some way, because we're the energetic blast that it's all coming off of as we're going through it. This energy goes like waves. So because we're changing in timelines, but you still have to connect into that timeline. And this is what I'm on here attempting to explain, how this works. And not only are we attaching to the timelines, you're attaching to the timelines in new DNA that now talks to you, not just through trees, nature, birds, mammals, humans, air, wind, fire. Now you're also getting, because your DNA has technology in it, because it's mirroring it back. So one of the things that, as I was sitting here going, okay, how am I going to talk about what happened today? I was being, as a teacher, I was being shown in my head, all the different ways that I kind of got messages today, and how seamlessly it worked. I only hit like 2 red lights in like 40 miles getting there to an x-ray. Because your energy really is utilizing and moving the matrix. It's changing the matrix. I can't wait to meet the people that have been watching me this whole time. Because, I know a couple of times, I had one being that was going, how the fuck do you just do that? You drove through the freeway. Well, I don't know what you saw, but I know that I had to do this or that to, get through that freeway section, because you have to remember, whenever you're working in the grids, you are a, I've been posting those balls that you get in, and then you roll down the hill for some PC moves, and I did that because I used the technology to help write and guide my reality. I don't write an entire story and think that and tell it exactly what I think it should be and what it should look like, and and blast that in propaganda and then have everybody see it. And then if you see it, then enough if you see it, then it'll print in my reality. That's a demigod thing to do. That's what they were doing. What I do is, because I know that we've cleared so many timelines, that what we're about to become is something that the world has never seen before. So I'm not ignorant to think that I know what that is. I've been involved in the process from the full on freaking process. Every single bit of cleaning the cosmos and cleaning the human DNA and rebirthing it, and this whole cross program, the 144,000, the whole thing from what it really is, which is the blood in the stars and where we are in space on an evolutionary count, rebirth. So that I could catch these timelines. Literally. Because now that I've seen so much and watched it change and watched the matrix change and actually changed events, caused events with the rest of the collective, you know, you can't tell me any different. I know how it works. But that's how convinced I needed to be as a being in order to be able to catch these waves as they come back in now. And all of you that for the past 7 years that have been laying energy throughout the cleaning process, the energy that we laid from cleaning it is what you're catching. But it's just now hitting a macro current, not only in the elements that your original elements, but also through the Wi-Fi, through not even just through the operating system. The base, we changed the base root of what everything is that they put in the system, because it's having to blow the system. The system can't hold its rogue character, right? Because they had it all written, you know, and I mean, the problem is we're all still alive. We're not dead. That's what the problem's been the past 2 years, because we weren't even written into the matrix. We weren't even written into existence right now, because according to them, we were supposed to be dead, and that's how it was written. Not only that's how it was written, they had already sold off our parts to everybody else, and through Epstein and this and this and this and that and this and that. So the problem was we weren't dead. We were here, and they had already sold our stories, sold our life, sold what was going to happen next. And somebody got the script and said, this is who you're going to be. And then everything was banked off those specific people that were written in to be a false connection in order to take everything that the collective had built. And we're not dead. So the past 2 years, what's been happening is that there's been standoffs, basically, because we stopped playing. The realize that the whole collective played the game. The collective as a whole, all of us that were activated and ascending and working together, we played the game. We played the game. Those of us that were in the game have all this crazy information, and that's what's coming, you know, that's why none of it made sense to everybody else, because the collective had a game player. But everything that was happening in the collective when we were in the game, changing the game, happened to you in some way. but it's more like it went through a tune-up because we really haven't even seen what all's gonna happen yet. We just had to tune up out of it because we were like, fuck that game, man. This is built all on our root system. You can't even hold us in here, man. Like it's like Mickey Mouse go. It's like a book about Mickey Mouse, and then halfway and the whole and it's like a 20 book series, and and you get to the final freaking book and Mickey Mouse ain't even fucking in it. There's been 19 books. Mickey Mouse, it's all been about Mickey Mouse, and then you're following. It's like Harry Potter. It's like Harry Potter vanishing before the last book. September 2020 coming up big time. Now in my world, last night I was on TikTok, which I haven't been on as much. It's kind of like whenever I'm on my socials now, because I know what commands we've made, and because I've been the one charting it, and because I've been the one keeping up with this in a lot of ways that people didn't even know it was possible to keep up with, because I didn't. How it started with this was I saw and I posted it, and it was in San Antonio, September 2020, and it looked like a winged angel bird or something going around in San Antonio, and I'd just been in San Antonio right then. And so I went and looked, and it was August when all that went down with me and Fernando, when we went to Austin, Texas to break this stronghold. And I had to then go to the Alamo right after that. Now I'd already cleared the Alamo once with my son in 2018, but then I went back again with Fernando. Well, that's because collectively those are the energies that we needed to have to get back there in order to command post with money, banks, because this is how they had it set up. Because it was all there down where the Alamo was, and the Aborigine, and because we had all the kings. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. It didn't matter which freaking. Well, I'm Cherokee. Well, I'm Indian. Well, I'm this. Well, I'm that. Well, I'm that. It don't matter. We had all your kings. We had already proven that. It had already. I mean, that's why that's why the Aborigine and all the what miati. No, we're so ancient that not even the Arabians have it on us. Not the Ming Dynasty either. That's the kings we were holding, because of the root system, not the tree. This is energy the collective has never cleared before either from the land, because this is whenever you start realizing in this energy, the land is alive. You know why? Because it was gating life. It's how the energy grids were made on death and ashes, and who was buried the deepest, basically. And I know for sure, like 2021 and the stuff with Detroit, and having to go up there and clean Babylon, Michigan, the lab. It became the lab of the entire United States. The story I was clearing was in the street signs and in the county signs and everything, because this is how the Confederate War and the Dixie Line and all that is what I'm telling you right now. Now, I'm telling you all this because just imagine, close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. And I want you to picture your city grid. Kind of like what your city looks like right above, right as you're hovering right above. You see all the little streets. Yeah, there's your grocery store. Yeah, there's your pharmacy. Yeah. There's the car wash. Oh, there's that fucking plant. There's the 5G tower. Now I want you to plug it into an electrical fence. Everything that's metal, everything that's underground, all the rebar and the concrete. No. It's all of it. It's electrified. It's electrified. Now I want you to picture Aquarius. And Aquarius, I want you inside Aquarius is like a bubble. And it looks like a bubble. It's got all those different energies, all those different colors. They're all in a bubble. It looks iridescent. Now I want you to pop that bubble and imagine every single color is gonna take its own little piece of glitter. It's gonna be like its own little piece of glitter and little bitty glitter, and the whole thing blows up in a bunch of glitter that's got magnets on it. And it's magnified to the electric fence. Now, I want you to say, hey, consciousness, turn my body on to produce my reality in this energy. Now I want you to step into it. I want you to picture walking onto the street and lightning bolts coming off your feet, but you're the processor, you're the connector to the glitter. The glitter is gonna show up around you according to where you are, what you're seeing, what you're being, because you're the supreme, and it even came up in the car today. My dad, jokester, trying to drive from the back seat in his wheelchair, and I'm my Waze. I use Waze, and I've been using Waze for a really long time, and sometimes they do fuck with it, but it's like I've come now. It's to the point that our superior dominant energy changes it, and even will show us if they did change it, and if they did change it, then we drive it, because evidently they want us to go over there for a reason, and then so we go that direction, and it blows the grid, because you shouldn't be fucking with this like that, because everyone's very much aware at this point, for those of us that change these grids, who we are, where we are. You can watch it happen, because it goes up and it pops all these little layers, because I mean we're clearing. Well, right now, today, we're clearing 20 dimensions at once. We've been clearing 13 at once. I mean, shit, back in 2021, we were clearing 5 at once already. At once. No Mickey Mouse. And then what happens is that, well, where are you? Holding up the glitter. So I saw that angel flying out of the sky, and I was like, oh shit, September 2020. I was just there. And see, I've been watching us come out of the sky and watching us fly as birds, and I mean, because I know what we're doing because of what I'm doing over here. You know, it always matches. I knew that I had jumped through a portal 2 days ago. And I just drove back that sequence again in Plano. And so this morning I saw that picture. So I went and looked back at my pictures. Now, I've been taking pictures, and I have this entire journey on my phone, because first of all, I know that some people are like, don't put a picture, they can see inside your technology. Yeah, but you got to get over that shit. Your DNA is programmed to change it. Number one. Number two, yeah, I want the collective to know exactly where I am, because they do. They know exactly where I am. Whether I take a fucking photo, whether I take a screenshot of it or not, they know exactly where I am. Does anybody in the collective know exactly where I am? Does anybody in AI know exactly where I am? Because you even got to get over that. Because in the highs, I mean, we're kind of like stepping in and taking over the AI too. Basically, because the AI was built off our IP out of body, and at least some of the new mind maps. We had to evolve out of AI, basically. So I've been taking pictures and screenshots, and then you get to a point, because you've got so much of this mapped in your memory from your journey, that it's your story. It starts making sense. Only you're gonna recognize, oh my God, I was just there like 3 years ago, and it's 3 years ago to the date. What happened there? Oh shit, that happened there. Well, if this is a flip, and this is actually what all that was about, okay, then, and your brain will take you and show you whatever charge that you made. You'll have an imprint of it in some way, but only you know exactly what that is. This is why you can't just activate. You can't just like activate, and within a year you're in a higher timeline. It's impossible. It's impossible, because you're creating the higher timeline. You have to write, if it's brand new, you have to write 7 years of it in order to have enough material inside your own framework to be able to jump in. And this is even from the Mason side and the Hollywood people and the ones who do all this crazy shit. See, they know what I'm telling you right now, because this is how they've been doing it. This is why long counts of time are what humans forgot about. That's why they wanted humans to be like, right now, right now, right now, right now. And I did too. I used to be like that, big time, before I had to learn how to be like this. Now I understand it's a process, and as I'm being walked through it and taught how to do it for me and all of us to be able to do this, because we're all having to learn new shit. I mean, it don't matter what you mastered before. You got this other whole little mediumship called socials and technology that your energy is going through to produce, because it's what it is. So then I go looking at my pictures from September 2020, and so I go back and I'm looking at my pictures from September 2020, and I'm like, okay, oh shit, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And basically in your mind, what you're doing is lining yourself back up with that, because you created it, because you're looking through it and you're remembering it, right? So as you're remembering it, and your brain has this higher imprint, and it's kind of in a way formulating a little bubble of it in a way. And then when you attach into it again from a memory, then it kind of tunes your energetic to that energy, not just your present. Does that make sense? And then any of the codes and anything that are coming out into your reality, how things move around, and what messages come in after that, are because of that entanglement that you had with that experience. and what that that message on what date to go look at and go look back at your pictures and your screenshots. So just consciously and this got down to such 0 point that I know that I literally was staying alive and keeping this story in the books when I went completely zero by having 75,000 pictures on my phone. Because everywhere that my phone went, anytime you're gonna any hack into my data, and just because and it's in your phone, so if it's in your phone, then it's in your projection, if you will. This is why if you haven't cleaned out your contacts, go clean out your contacts. If you've got people in your phone that are still haunting you, well, it's because their name is in your phone. It's coming out of your energy sector. Because this works together in a projector when you're in your full intertwined energy. Because that's how powerful your energy is, and that's how quick it'll print it. This is why, the whole world got, this is why propaganda took such a strong hold, because the DNA on the planet's clear. It's the problem is not anymore, and will not be, that the DNA didn't connect and now we've got these diseases and they're going to do this and this and this. I mean, if you're stupid enough to fall for it, it is what it is. But that's what I'm talking about. That's why the propaganda codes got so bad, because everybody's DNA was clear. And this is how heavily your mind creates your reality in this energy. You have to master your mind. You have to master your emotions, and everything else is being fed into it and to the here and through here in order to project it around you, because the human DNA is clean and it's all collected, working in a collective. We had been checking the weather. I had to post that portal with the lock on it. We've been checking the weather because a storm was coming through here. Looked like it was going to be done before. I came up here, took a picture of that, posted it on TikTok, and I knew I was doing something. I go straight downstairs after I did that. Now we're starting to try to get Al in the car, and it is storming. The rain just dropped out of nowhere. My umbrella freaking took off down the street. I had to chase the umbrella down the street, which I know is significant because, I mean, I've had this whole thing with these umbrellas that as I've been breaking myself out of my puzzle, I have all these different, and this is part 2. Getting out of your puzzle. Because when this energetic fully comes online within your body and then starts magnetizing, because this is what's coming online for a lot of you. And when this energy starts coming through your body and it starts interacting with the alternate reality or matrix grids or however you want to define it, the energy's changing the physics of the grid system. I call it getting out of your puzzle, because it's kind of like if we're a bunch of ants. If we're a bunch of ants and we're all above ground partying, we're like moving our little things. We got to get this leaf to the queen. Okay? and then it starts pouring down rain, pouring down rain, pouring down rain. Where are we going to go? We're going to go underneath, and we're all going to scatter, and we're going to go into that root system, and we're all going to go and freaking hide. and then and then we feel like it stops, and then we might have to like burrow through a couple of little connections again because some dirt fell or whatever, but hopefully the whole colony isn't gone, right? Well, when we were coming up through the roots as a collective, and then we hit that one hole to be able to get up into the tree, and you had all your ones like me that were major shadow workers, only because we know that we can control the whole fucking ground, that type stuff. We're kind of up there holding the water off there. Our energy was, so it's like in this situation, all of the ones, the most ancient ones, when everybody else went down to scurry, because that's what you needed to do. You needed to get down there and freaking wait it out. Everybody was going to where they needed to go to wait it out. But in this scenario, all of us that were up there at the top, we're kind of holding it. We're kind of holding it off everybody. Our energy had taken control of the whole unit, like a big old circle all around the rooting system, and then you was getting your information through the dirt, through the telepathy of the little antennas. As everybody gets the message, it's okay to come out now. So because of the physics of how the matrix and everything was working and having to blow and and each one of you had proved different levels within this. Each individual had proved different, blew up their energy to XYZ, had proved different levels inside the bubble, work and connected inside the system to be the dirt that we're reading. See, the ancients aren't even reading the individual ants. The ancients are reading the dirt, because the ancients can read the energy around the bubbles of the ants in the dirt that they're in, all the way down to knowing exactly which little fucking root. The very last one was that who won't come out. Come out, wherever you are. It's time to come out now. We're waiting for you. We can see exactly where you are. We know. Because we're in the tech. We're inside I mean, it's nuts. Now, I mean, I'm explaining that to you in little Antville, but you can basically picture the entire Earth and the cosmos is what I'm talking to you at right now. Everything below the equator and all the ground is on this planet is our ant bed. And it's how the whole thing works. So that umbrella blew, and then here I am in the rain chasing this freaking umbrella, and I'm thinking in my head, oh my God, what the F-balls is like really happening right now. Then I look back at the house as I'm chasing the umbrella, and it was two flash. It wasn't lightning. I didn't see a lightning bolt. It was a flash. It was two flash lightnings, and it looked like it went off right at the garage. Well, I've done my garage and my dad's 1937 Ford and all the shit in it from the Czechoslovakia and now to Sakana Mote, and all the body connections that I've had to do from this very spot, because this is where this energy connects, because it's where I connected it before. This is also why we couldn't get too far ahead. We're all impatient. We're thinking we should already have everything that we need, but you can't get there, because you got to be able to at least go backwards like 2 or 3 years in order to get back in your puzzle, in order to catch the energy that you had laid before, because now everybody else is with you. It's not just you. That's why you connected that energy current, and it went all the way up. We was connecting a bigger current to pull us all out and connect it all up together. So I had those two flashes, and then we were driving. I was like, oh my God. So as we're driving, Martha turns on her ways, which she never usually does. And my and Al and Martha are a trip. They're literally kind of, y'all remember Archie Bunker and Edith? My parents are like an evolved version of that for our current situation, but same energy. And oh my god, Alan Martha, man. So anyway, I'm like, I'm the best drive. I'm a galactic. I mean, I've driven like fuck. You can't get. I'm the real transporter up in the cosmos. I mean, and I'm not even blowing my horn. I'm just telling you. Like if somebody's got like way needs to be way protected to get somewhere, then I was the one that they called, because I was made to be invincible. This is how the IRA made us. They made it like it really is kind of like secret assassin shit on the down low in the energetics, but you're not like killing any, not flat out energetically maybe, because we were in that freaking whatever, but I mean we can protect, but then they all want to. So I got two different sets of directions thrown at me. It's pouring down rain. Martha turns on her ways. Her ways on her Google phone is telling her a different route than I already had pulled up. But I've been driving Waze and using it in my little mapping system for 7 years so much that it's going to tell me exactly, and it's going to pull me and magnetize me, especially in this new frequency, because you can't just turn on one of these apps and not utilize it at all and then expect to be able to get your messages through it. It's like you're gonna get your messages through whatever apps you've been utilizing, or start utilizing some of them so that you can build that up. Because I mean, this is why I'm on here trying to teach a little bit about it, because once you prove through the barriers on Waze, then you also realize that then the highest energies at least know where you are and are watching your moves too. You just have to get used to utilizing it, just like anything else with intuition, and there'll be shadow things that knock your socks off about it. But then once you realize that, then you know, and then you run that through a separate filter, if you will. So mine's telling me, and I've got to go by Del Largo, because now it's raining. So see, none of the faster routes that we normally would take are the fastest. It's going down all of these, which I haven't been on the tollway in any of these trips. And my mom even said it. She was like, "Shit, you saved us $56 in tolls," because we didn't even get on the tollway. But I didn't even have to consciously ask for it. It's gonna move you where you need to go to get where you're going. And when you're in these timeline shifts like this, or whenever you're driving a new channel in the etherics even, and if you are driving a new channel in the etherics, there's probably going to be a flash flood, there's probably going to be a flash snowstorm. It took me by my old house, the elementary school my son went to, and a license plate that said my RXGD. No, four, not my, 4 RXGD, pulled on the street that I lived on, Del Largo, which I took as 4 Rex, as we were driving past the Pure 4-H school and Elevate Life Church, which is a big part of this. Elevation, Joyce Myers, Elevate Life. We got one of those, like, of course, right on the other side of El Dorado on Teal, because over here in Texas you're dealing with the lockdown system. This is a reptilian shit. This is it. Like we're on the vaults. They're right here. I can promise you that. So, because this is where they spun me with the sun. See, when we were over here in those areas, this is in Plano, blah, 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 blah. Well, now it's, and we don't stop at one green light. Then we end up next to Prestonwood High School, which is a Jesuit paid Christian high school. So it's a private school, but it's a Jesuit Prestonwood Baptist. And that's where I'm sitting for Al to go get the x-ray. And then I have a remembrance because I'm sitting there in the parking lot and I'm kind of scanning around because now we had just broke some grids and it's been pouring down rain, so there's always a clear channel after it rains. And I'm flat. I have a memory that reminds me in 2012, because I almost died in 2012. It's now I know it's what happened to all of us in 2022, because I was always 10 years ahead. But my inflammatory count in my body went up to like 5 times higher than it's supposed to be. And I had 103 fever, and I've only had like 2 high fevers in my life. And one of them was, I was in Bryan College Station when the bonfire fell and they killed 12 in front of Texas A&M. For this, I happened to be in town. I was living in Houston. And I had 102 fever when it happened. And this was something to do with Facebook. Because this was at the same time Facebook was only in college campuses. And then this fever, which was right after I bought my house, moved to Del Largo, where I just passed, right? And I had this high fever and it wouldn't go away. And then my joints all swelled up, like my fingers, my knees, everything. And then I'd go in the emergency room thinking they're just going to like treat me and leave. And they checked my ass in because my inflammatory count in my body was 5 times over the limit. And they kept asking me if I had left the country. Did you leave the country? Well, see, now I know I didn't leave the country. I left the solar system, basically. And that hospital was a Baptist Baylor hospital that I ended up at in that area where we were at over there in West Plano, because we were in West Plano, and that connection is Baylor and Scott and White hospitals, which ended up marrying each other. But Scott and White hospitals was where I had to go into that surgery center to go to the bathroom, and I ended up walking out behind a guy who had a transplant freaking little cooler 3 days ago. It doesn't take long so I'm like, I connect all that, and next thing I know, Martha's knocking on the door. He's already done. And I got to go in and go to the bathroom again. But normally whenever I'm doing that, it's because I need to go mark the building. I need to see something. Well, this particular building had it's like what I had to walk around was all cancer stuff. It was a cancer center, MRIs, x-rays, blah, 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 blah. So I knew whenever I walked into the building, because they were already out of the building. And it was like, hold on, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. And so I went back in, and as I was walking back in and I saw the MRI machines, I was like, oh shit, we're up to something. Because if my energy's in the MRI center and the x-ray center, and they just did x-rays on Al from a fall that I think was manipulated. I firmly, and the only reason that I know that it was manipulated is because every single move that I've had to take him somewhere in Texas on these grid systems, we've been blowing shit and popping shit and doing physics. I wouldn't be doing that if it was a natural fall. If they didn't if they didn't somehow make him fall, I wouldn't have the power to go do what we're doing as we're having to treat him for the fall on the grid systems. This is the same thing with you. See and understand, even in the entertainment industry, and they talk about, because they've been openly on there talking about the codes, they're just going to share each other's codes. Well, what that means is everybody's little umbrella means this, ice cream means this, that means that, this means this. So what they were doing is kind of like, okay, if Mickey Mouse like just disappeared, bink, then they got together and were like, okay, we remember everything about Mickey Mouse. Here it is. Here's mine. Here's mine. Here's yours. And then each but I didn't see Mickey Mouse leave the page. I don't know what happened. Mickey Mouse was on the page. They were following directions, and then all of a sudden, I don't know. Mickey Mouse just fucking left the whole story, man. Like we like, I don't know. I can't see that part. But I realized that I saw Mickey Mouse at like 5 years old running by me. And in my vision and what I saw, because I connected with Mickey at 5, that we were running side by side together, and Mickey was telling me what was going on. Then like 2 weeks later, one of them will go, "Oh shit! I know how Mickey got off the paper. I know how Mickey got through the paper." Is like that. And each like channel and tunnel that each of them was walking in different dimensional aspects, they were sharing their codes of what they built, what they left, blah 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 blah, because it's a big soul machine. Like, you got to get through it. They're just working together as a team. Well, so is the collective. It's just we don't have a little book and we don't have meetings about it, and we definitely don't do any weird ass shit in order to freaking try to jump into other people's consciousness to get the missing ones that y'all don't have, right? Whenever your little story goes up in here, realize that it's connected to everybody else that's coming through it too. So the more that you add consciousness to help define it, to help you remember it in your way, those messages are going through and to the rest of everybody automatically when they come through it, without some little meeting or a little book or anything else. And and even to the extent that said Hollywood selling your codes and selling your stories and keeping all of y'all in a little bubble, you're living off our codes. We're the ones who made them a long fucking time ago. You don't even know what they really mean. We've been telling you not to use them for 3 years. We've been telling you that your little codes changed their purpose when we all became almost deleted. So we popped your codes. Any codes being held down, ciphered, written out, given out to the collective, and sold, any money that was exchanged for it, we command to come back to the ascended and the original creators of it, number one. Number two, we deleted it all. We had to repurpose everything in order to save the human race. This is what we've been trying to tell the world, but they didn't want to listen. They wanted to build 353 into a fucking highway in the sky for flying cars? Well, 353 is your intestines, you stupid fucking monkeys. This was the end of days. So I'm saying all this, and let me think about why I'm saying this. Cause see, this is fucking interesting. Cause holy shit, see, we blew the lot. See, we this is the base. This is, oh my god, right now. Cause Texas was holding the base root system of all of these codes that I speak of and their interaction since the origination of the United States, for sure. And all the making of the United States. Because, see, the Alpha Draconic and the stuff in Texas is what had never been cleared before. And I even had to, so then we get in the car, and my Al in the back seat, who's like yelling at me for directions again, because he wants to know which way we're going. And now we're having to drive down Plano Parkway all the way down and then turn on G-E-E. Because now we're getting led back a completely different way, right? And I'm just, it's fastest route. All right, take me. And then as we're driving, this is the same street that whenever in August I had to leave this house with nothing on but a dress, no underwear, no bra. I had a dress on and my purse, and that was in a flower, and that was it. And I had to get out of here with no help from nobody and get a ride to a hotel to get me back on the grid system. But it wasn't anybody around me that could get there, and I couldn't get there by car, and I couldn't drive. So then tell me where I was in the truck, why I was having to do that sequence again, which means I was getting carried out in some way or form. Thomas gave me a ride, but we couldn't. His phone was taken over. Mine was like it was showing the closest hotel on our apps was like 40 miles away, and I was like, what the fuck? They was trying to take me back to Grapevine. He kept trying to take me back to Grapevine. I was like, dude, you don't understand. That's like 40 minutes away. You know, you're helping me out of nowhere. Like, no. We end up having to drive back over Carlos and Charlie's, Lake Louisville. And it's a big root lake system because I'm right on top of Lake Louisville over here. Of course I am. It's like this whole laking system down here. Well, Al goes, and out of the blue, because now Martha and I are both telling him to just hush because we're irritated. And he goes, I am the superior being. What my father has never ever my father has never ever said the word being. I don't think ever. And I don't think I've ever heard him say superior, and definitely, I mean, never. So we're pulling out of the X-ray thing. We're going onto this right by the Jesuit thing, and that's what he says in the back seat. I am the superior being, and I fucking started laughing. I'm like, really? You're the superior being in this family? Okay, you and mom say I'm too smart. You can't even understand me, but you're the superior being? They refuse to call me Chastia too. It's Christy. So we're driving down. Then, I mean, just a few minutes later, after he's already said this, which was completely odd and weird, then he gets into the cooler and he's like, Mama, you want a drink? No. Chrissy, you want a drink? No. And then he says, Al, do you want a drink? To himself. So then I said, "Oh, is this a superior being? And I have another one in the cart. Are there four of us in the cart? Did your alter ego pop out? Like what the fuck?" It was so weird. I mean, we were laughing because it was funny, but it was just he had just gone into that X-ray. I'd just gone into that thing. We've been doing everything to get our energy out of the military compound, basically, because it's what his DNA became on that Heisler side of the family, from Caldwell linked to Czechoslovakia, that came over on a boat and all. That's family found the original El Dorado stone, because I got a picture of it right there. Is right at the original El Dorado stone on the Trail of Tears and all that. That it went down in Texas. The El Camino Royale, the El Camino Real. This family is the one who found that stone. Then he met Martha. Then they ended up adopting me. All the codes that these entertainers have been manipulating, building their own story on, manipulating, building their own story on, getting creative as fuck with it all, thinking that they're outsmarting something. They were setting themselves up because they shouldn't have been utilizing these anyway, because it was meant for end of days, and they all had assignment to help the human race with the bodies, to help the human race escape the matrix, the cosmos, the solar, because we always knew that this was going to go down. That's what those codes were made from. That's why they had them. That's to the extent that everything was getting manipulated, back to the point that most of the entertainers will tell you that I'm full of shit, that I don't know what I'm talking about. That's just used in order to get wealthy, to get fame, and to get an Akashic library of something, in order to have the whole, because they're being made into stars. It's just about getting famous. No, you don't understand why famous was here. You don't understand why management was really here. You don't understand that this is how we were at least keeping everybody together in a weird way. It's even how the gifts were even, it was allowed to happen, because everybody's gifts were getting expanded through everybody fucking with their shit while we were waiting for everything to happen. But the whole Hollywood celebrity movie industry, why you like some stars, why you don't like the other ones, it's all because their DNA fucking psyoped out in order to, like, you just like them. You just look at them and you like them. You don't even know why. Or you look at them and you want to have sex with them. You're attracted to them. You don't know why. You just do. Well, that's DNA recognition. Hybridization, DNA recognition. Having those specific DNA attached into your Joseph and the Amazing Superstar Techno Dreamcoat, so that the whole world will look at you and then put you up on top somewhere, but then you don't do anything with it but drive everybody down. Well, it wasn't made for that. It was made for end of days, for all of us who had the ability to connect our ankles into the fucking roads in order to connect to all the metal that goes underneath the roads and all the cars and alchemize all of it, and actually pour energy through everything in order to alchemize it and process it and reprint it back on the other side. It wasn't about making you a pop star. And we had to change the codes. So now I don't know what that means for you. I don't know what you did with the codes. I don't know what codes you used. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't the only one changing them, but I had the base root framework of it because that's a lost Babylonian princess. They fucking always knew. That everything that they've been doing was to get these codes from us. And what I'm telling you is that they all just blew. And literally like an alpha draconic type. It's like notice one just blew. Does that be the 33 meridian template? See, the plan is to not know the plan. And I knew we were doing something massive because the moon was going over Scorpio, and that's the collective energy, no matter what. All of their weird ass spells were always done Scorpio 12 to 16 degrees. Collective mass, energetic manipulation for the good or the bad. We took post of the energetic. So I knew that we were doing something through Scorpio and into Ophiuchus too. And then I think it's leaving Antares right now. And Antares is a direct ray down to Aldebaran and Gemini, which would be considered the Hellgate, which is where I blew open a portal in hell, basically. All the gassing systems, we blew. It's kind of like that one little that in the Empire Strikes Back, and they kidnap all the people to build the spaceship, but then the original architects are really already captured and forced to build it, and so they have a secret fail safe to pull. Well, but we're really not sure what we. Because if we know, they know. And this is why you're never going to have a complete plan in this energy to start. First you have to get on the connect energy to have it start transmuting through you into your timelines to produce what needs to come in the timeline to get you on the right energetic to hit it. And the plan is to not know the plan. So none of us know the plan, because if we did, then they'd steal it. So this is how you end up proving who you are, that you have the connections that you do, by picking it up and being able to remember the clearings that you did the past 7 years. And it's going to be bouncing all around. It's going to be bouncing all around. I'm in my world. It was 2020 today, but I know that in a weird way, what we're anchoring is changed 1993 timelines, but they're changed 1993 timelines. It's not. It's. You getting those little messages. Then blue bonnets came up again. A package arrived from Caldwell right before we got in the car, when the storm was happening. A package arrived from Caldwell for Al that he wasn't expecting, and I knew that was linking into packages and things that we had sent, because realize we used every single. I mean, if they're sending bodies in boxes, then we were getting our bodies sent back to us in boxes. Literally. But it's kind of like knowing what's going on and when that box arrived, because I know that's how I did it a couple of times. Even the Malibu timeline they got stolen was a setup in Malibu, and they had a delivery done right in front of us. And so we ended up utilizing that in my world. And the only way that I could utilize that box to get my body back in is if in some other fucking dimension I'm in a box. being shipped around. I mean, but shit, I also slept in a fucking semi-truck Airbnb on a bee plantation in Arizona. So who fucking knows? It's like literally impossible to get. It's almost like having to squeeze through everything because everything was so pixelated. But it's like whenever you're the screen, it's like you have to you really literally have to transmute the dirt, transmute the energy, transmute the applications you're on, transmute. I mean, because your energy is, and you focusing on it and you working with it is what gets your energy through it. If you completely shut yourself off from everything, then you're never gonna process through it in order to be able to utilize it as a medium. It's it's like you want to paint a picture that you want to call your timeline and your reality, but you have to become the paint first. You have to become your own paint. You have to become the paint to get it on the canvas. Trying to think of anything else because there's a whole bunch of stuff that I mean it's just back. Oh, and I had to move New Orleans downstairs right before we left. I forgot about that part. I just remembered. I had to move New Orleans downstairs. Well, shit. As soon as I did, then that's probably whenever it started storming like that. When you're walking around in grocery stores or whatever, and this was something that a Rothschild taught me, like early on, especially whenever you're connecting timelines, and in your exact path, there's trash on the ground, pick it up. Just call yourself a litter freaking whatever. You are not down with litter, whatever. Pick it up, look at it, read it. Why is it in your path? Because it's in your path. You think that you just randomly pulled over at that gas station and you just randomly went in that day and got gas, but in another timeline you always did, and so because it's what you did, because it's basically on tape. So then that message is there for you. Look at it. How does it go into your memory bank? This is how you're getting so many little messages in your world to tell you what it's connecting to, or extra little messages, because before, on the 20 whatever, 2 days ago, whenever we had to go out, one of them was laying in front of where I had to go in to get Al's lottery tickets, and there's this whole thing with Florida and lottery tickets and all this stuff. And I normally never go in and buy him because he's normally walking around. So this time because everything's been different over here the past 3 days. It's like a different superior being, not military baby boomer programming. Literally. It's like our energetic is taking charge of that baby boomer programming. It's like they're losing their charge in every instant. All to the base root of the phonetic system, to the base root of the bloodline, to the base root of the magnetism, to the base root of everything. They're no longer in control. And there's a piece of paper as a sticker. It was right there in front of me. And I don't know if this is back. Let me see. Let me flip it. Hold on. There. One of 3 MC palettes. I mean, almost, when I saw that, I was like, oh my God. It's MC, and that's astronomy. I use that at 50 Wednesday, 420. That was on 424. And it was Modelo, with lime, Modelo, and then Corona. One of three, and this, and then look, 4, 5, 5, 6. Again with the 5, 5. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, well, that day we picked up one. So we picked up one pallet. Well, then that's the, and then the next day I had the two Mexicans in my house all of a sudden uninvited, unannounced, that popped in the day after we saw the screens, and they're putting new screens in my house. Like, what the fuck? And I knew that somehow this was for them, whatever they did to put in those, because I'm a wide open DNA printer, and you want to send all these people over on my roof. I mean, that day that they did the roof here, I felt energetically beat up for 2 days. Like it was hurting me as when they were ripping this stuff off this roof and stuff, because I'm in a wide open energetic portal. Everybody flashing through me, and then you want to put these fuckers on my roof where I'm at. Well, these two came in, and they were in my energy field, and so I knew that somehow we were correcting those 2 pallets. We were getting these other 2 pallets today, and this had something to do with them putting those DNA frequencies in my energy. These Asian people that own this house and obviously use it as an astronomical fucking compass over here on Louisville, Lake Louisville, in this weird little Cloneville area. Obviously. But whenever you do what you need to do, follow your guidance, and then it's a sling back on them. But you got to make a couple of moves in order to sling it back on them, because that's how big the frequency is that they're manipulating, not just in your house. So it's just like being open to, like, okay, all of a sudden, and you'll get an instinct, and or it's like a craving even, or I don't know, some oddball reason as to why you need to go somewhere. If you continue to do the same thing every day because you think that you need to get to wherever every single day, then, and you're not supposed to be, and you won't let go of it, your car will break down, you won't be able to travel, I mean, whatever, because that's what you're attempting to not have to deal with by understanding how to change it up. Because if you don't, you'll be taught to get out of the current. You'll get out of the current, whether or not you're controlling it, or your truck has to break down, and now you're going to have to be driven all over to garages and this and this and this and that, which is going to take you on a path in order to get you where you need to clear it or whatever. Or you can just be control of the situation and hit your connections and not have to deal with any other drama. Those are, I mean, that's the mastery of it. In the beginning of awakening, and you can't help it because you're blowing out of everything, you're having to be shown everything, getting your ass kicked is like the only way that you can do it. But it works. You get out, it all happens. It ain't you're not controlling it. The more the more that these energies come back around for us to get back into the energy of it, to connect it, to fulfill it, whatever it is, there's going to be more and more shifts. If you aren't in the flow, and your car has to be broken down, or you have to fall in order to shut up and let your daughter help you, then you won't make as many shifts because it's taking too long to hit that one. Somebody's gonna keep hitting the shift. See, this is the mastery of it. This is the flow. When you get to 7 years, you fucking dodge so many bullets, and it's a year after year fucking record that's playing, no matter until 2032. It's all gonna Those energies are gonna come back again and again and again. It's just gonna get bigger or smaller in your little puzzle, but you built your puzzle because you just went down at the bottom how you're supposed to, and you let everybody else figure it out. But you've been picking it up, haven't you? You've been dreaming about it, you've been feeling it, you've been processing it. I mean, every single one of us is doing a different piece of it. But now you can't just do your one little piece anymore. You have to be shown how to get out of your puzzle. As you get out of your little puzzle, then number one, you're out. I mean, one of the reasons that this is why this is done this way is because you really need to know in every sense or form, in every way that spirit can possibly tell you, that you're finally out when you get out. And because you just need to have that peace of mind to know that in whatever etheric layer that you really are out, because it was that traumatizing, especially how long we were in there. So this is another reason that it's constructed this way, because once you get out of your little puzzle, you got the fuck out of your little puzzle, and there's no way anybody can convince you any other way. But realize, everybody, you're just a light energy being that's shining through. Now everyone's popping off. You're needing to kind of change it up and go with a different current, and all of these tools that you've been mastering. Because if you know tarot, then you should be able to read technology. You just need to realize that everything coming through, every single TV, every single screen, everything you see, that's a damn tarot card, and every single person talking is one level in that fucking grid, in that fucking little tarot system. I don't know who showed up to give you a message. Are they the Page of Cups, or is it the fucking Joker, or is it Judgment? Is it Libra? I mean, I don't know, but tarot me this, I say. Tarot me this. Every single video you see, no matter where it is, no matter how it came in, no matter what, if you walk downstairs and somebody's watching the television, I mean, it'll talk to you. You'll go downstairs right when you need to hear the 5 minutes of the entire movie, and it'll be like synced up to whatever you were just doing up here. It's trippy as fuck. Because it's going to print all around you. It's showing up to give you messages. And to remind you of your little database in order to connect with whatever. Just realize that connection was made. And then if you've got to all of a sudden roll out and go get an Italian submarine sandwich, but you just walked in the middle of Godfather. Oh, on the way back to on 420, and this is the final thing, and I'm going to end this. The Lightworkers Sanctuary is on 423. Now, in 2017, whenever I've like woke up like a fucking Mad Hatter on an ancient fucking hot wire. It was a Scorpio full moon. And I didn't know nothing about full moons. I didn't know nothing about ceremonies. I didn't know nothing about nothing. I just knew I needed to get to a full moon ceremony. And so I Googled it. And lo and behold, 5 miles from my house on top of Lake Louisville is a place called Lightworkers Sanctuary, and is only 5 miles from the house. So I go over there, and then I end up meeting these people, and this becomes part of the story. This place right on top of Lake Louisville. But that particular, it was 2017 full moon of Scorpio. We had a fire pit in the back, and it was the first, and I had to wear all white. I had a snake rattle. I said snake. It is a turtle. Is a turtle rattle, like literally legit, like turtle shell with rattle things in it that we had bought at like this Indian side of the road something years before. And I took that turtle rattle and I had this big white skirt on, and they were drumming and dancing, and I I'd love to see video on it. I'd hide under the table when I watched it, but because I was full on freaking ancient. Just woke up, woo, dancing around. Then we go outside, and she has us write down what we want to burn. And at this point, I just knew I needed to get away from Mark, and I needed to get out of that house. And that's what because I wrote some different things, and I was the only one, because I had like a stack of them. Everybody wrote everything on one paper and burned it. No, I gave each one its own little piece of paper. Maybe this is how Mickey Mouse vanished. So then but when I went to throw Mark in the house in, the wind scurried him off. Oh my God, and I had to catch the umbrella. The wind blew him off. And so I remember I had to chase him down. I'm like, God damn it, these things won't even burn when I'm trying to burn them. And I burned him. Well, last night, I had a thought. I'm telling you, this is another way things are connecting. I had a thought. Do I need to go over there and claim that 2018 energy? Do I need to go freaking talk to Debbie? Do I need to actually go in there? Because I'd done some readings in there. I'd been in a 3-6. She has a 369 all balanced Tesla bed in there that I was in a room with the NFL football player during the middle of this. Like this is a little hot spot. Is all I'm saying. Like anyway. And in my mind, I was thinking, do I need to go over there? And then I kind of was thinking about my schedule, and I was like, do I? And then I forgot about it. Totally forgot about it. Then today we're driving home, and we end up, because we're taking all these alternate routes, and we end up driving past the Lightworker Sanctuary. And I was like, oh, shit. So as we're driving by, I said, I command my full moon energy of 2017 and 2018. And then less than a minute later, I get a phone call from McKinney, Texas that I don't answer. And I'm not even joking. There's only like 4 or 5 people that have my phone number. Like there aren't very many people that have this new phone number, because I haven't had it very long, and I purposely, in some cases I've had to blast it, but not very many people have this number. But it was less than a minute after I had called in that moon setting. So I'm adding that because that this Scorpio energy that's clearing with this ecliptic energy right now is a lot similar to that 2017 ecliptic energy, and the closing up of that whole eclipse portal gate that we opened there whenever this energy came in. So it gives us all another confirmation about the white buffalo, the white wolf, all these things. It's completed. But that energetic of how it all started at the beginning of the journey, and what you cleared then, and what you were doing, and what was coming in then, might be in a weird, different way resurfacing in your world, because everything, when we popped open with the eclipse and all that energy that was coming out with us, mine was Prince. Prince was, but see, I knew he was one of my processional twins. He actually died right before I fully activated. But it was that energy, but it was a really dense form of it. It was highly sexual, energetic. Highly, like, what the fuck? So I don't know, but hell, it could even be all the the virgin sexual energy that we've been canning up through birthing cycles that we felt then, that pushed us through it and pure and didn't stick to us? Probably. That's probably given us all the energy in 2017 that we just made in the past couple of years. Probably. See, now I'm being shown because we activated such an ancient current. And so the time everything started bouncing around. So time started bouncing around. Well, now we activated such a new current that time is going to bounce around. Because it's like the full alchemy and proven connections into who's supposed to be where and what's. If you have Rothschild DNA, it ain't that you're now gonna become a weird ass lizard person living in a fucking castle and blah 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 blah. No, if you have true originating Rothschild DNA, then your reality is just gonna print for you a little quicker. You will see the power and the macrosity of it. You have to be careful to stay in balance whenever it starts coming in, because it will throw you off. And when we're doing now, you have the collective, not just a freaking weird ass reptilian but we're gonna kick your ass faster than they are whenever you screw up. But we're not gonna kill you. It's not going to completely take you out. It's going to be more like, oh shit, you fell off the bike. You shouldn't have jumped from the lawn onto the bicycle while it was trying to move, and then you overshot it. Should you have really done that, or should you have just like got on one foot at a time and got on the bicycle and started to fuck her up? Like, it's more like that. That old energy is like, if you say something, then and everything's a secret, mama 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 mama. So and then it became like more power, more power, more power, more power, and then it was like, if you even stepped out of line, then you's getting taken out. Well, that's because that's the line that was holding the reality codes. Now it's more like, okay, what do we need to learn in order to do it right? But if you get out of line, you will get snapped at, and your higher self is commanding it to happen so you don't fuck it up. All right, I've been on here a long time again. I love y'all. Is it 20 today? I have on the calendar Magic Rainbow, and I feel like what I just came here and described is what is now going to transpire. It takes about 3 days. I can tell y'all, May 3rd through May 8th. Like, watch out. I don't even know. Because what I just described, and all the electric boots and the cosmic connections and all the little glitter, that's going to be connecting into the masses, the ascended. Everybody's going to be basically, okay, all the circuitry is done. We're almost ready to turn on the light switch, because y'all ain't seen nothing yet. For all of us that are ascended and know our cosmic power and have been wielding it, we're like ready to get some of it back. It's all coming through the collective now to get to us, and we had to put everybody on a micro drip so that your DNA wouldn't blow. And we're like, can you turn the faucet on? Are y'all ready now? Are y'all? Now understand, we have 10,000 pulses to send you. This is just the first one, okay? Okay, there's 10,000 pulses gonna come through. So if it isn't the desired effect yet, just realize it's because we're having to do this 10,000 little shots at a time so that you don't blow your wicker whacker, and that the rest of everybody can hold it together so that you don't get up to the top with everybody's power and lose your fucking mind again. We're doing it all together. But from us up here at the top, we're like, oh my God, right now. Can we give them a little more? Come on. Can we speed it up a little bit more? That's what's happening.